Hello again, people of the internet, and welcome back to the Deplorable Batcave, your location for all things deplorable, degenerate, and all around unpleasant. Joining me tonight, from left to right on my screen, we have Ice and Fire.
What's poppin'? Man, I'm loving that new intro, babe.
Seawalt.
It's babe, not babe. Get it right. Also, I didn't realize we were a Deplorable Pod Cave.
Well, the cave got ejected, so we're now in a pod, unfortunately.
Okay, whatever.
Wanderzing.
Punch Antifa.
They already got a load of that. Renegade.
I feel like death.
I am become death.
Yes.
And Unstoppable.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm insane, and I love you too. And I'm in no way affiliated with this channel, except coincidentally for this time only.
I guess ditto.
He'll be returning on.
Wow, I feel so washed off. I mean,
The autism is flowing.
yes.
Oh, come on, guys.
As per our usual setup, we have a host of topics that, after introduction, will be yielded to the floor for discussion. After a brief amount of time, after we can bring no more either information, discussion, or keks out of it, we will move on to another topic. Towards the end of the show, I will be scouring Twitter for instances of kek or cringe. Hopefully I find more of the former than the latter. Now, first on tonight's topic list, we are going to talk about something that has become a meme. We're going to talk about United Airlines.
4 out of 5 doctors recommend flying United Airlines.
You know, their frequent flyer program is unbeatable, unlike you.
United Airlines. We don't
4 out
beat-
of 5 dentists recommend United Airlines for teeth cleaning.
Yep, that was
United. We don't beat our competition. We beat you, our customers, because we don't care.
No, I got one. United against you.
so.
Here's the link. Actually, that's an image link. Post the article.
With that in mind, discussion is on the floor. Let's begin. Apparently, it's gotten worse than I thought because United tried to bump a 10-year-old kid off a flight without bumping off his parents. So they're just going to take the kid off the flight, not his parents.
Yeah, the backflying is a standard airline practice, but they're just going about it the wrong way.
This is a rash of stuff. I didn't expect to hear about this much.
Wait. Why were they kicking off the 10-year-old kid? Let's set the premise.
The computer would see that his ticket's the cheapest and be like, get rid of him.
It's the overbooking thing.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god.
also-
It's an automated system.
Yeah, and the
This
reason
is true.
and the reason why they have this system is because basically the unions have way too much goddamn power and need to be deep-toothed and clawed at this point.
No, basically all airlines, there's a mathematical expression for how many passengers they think will not show up. So generally, they overbook that many passengers, and that many don't show up. And
Except when they
generally,
do.
no, generally, and what they do is they just give them a small fee and say, hey, can you take tomorrow's flight? You'll be confirmed and all that. So it's just United being a terrible business. It's not so much that it's a weird practice in airlines, having grown up being immersed with airlines.
Well,
I mean, a lot of companies do this. A lot of business models do this as
All
well.
airlines do it.
Well, I know it's partially due to the unions because the unions have a weird rule with moving people around. I mean, also, just to kind of think logically here, wouldn't it be smarter for the companies to have some sort of partnership with each other to move airport personnel around, since they're all generally going to the same areas, so that if one flight has additional seats, they can put crew on there and it's kind of a horse trade for seats?
Generally, that's
The
what they
issue-
do.
The issue is multifaceted.
Okay.
In one part, I'm going to have to quote Milton Friedman here from his interview in Playboy in, 1973. What he said is oftentimes a huge issue with a lot of these airlines is they are controlled by, government regulations that basically give them the power to pull this kind of nonsense, which should be a complete violation of any contracts that they make. And
That's very
furthermore,
insightful from
another
the Playboy
issue
magazine.
is obviously, like they said, it's in large part due to those unions.
Yeah.
As we've seen historically, unions cause nothing but problems
Yeah.
most of the time.
I have a crazy solution to solve this problem.
What?
If they have to bump off one person on one flight, every single flight for the day is refunded to all customers. And that is now a federal law.
No.
No.
Bad idea.
That's
You do understand that like they just went about it badly.
Yeah, I know.
Normally, what you do is like, okay,
I do
he
that.
can't change. We'll just we'll just do this to someone else and have them go off the flight.
Yeah.
They would.
To be fair, they did
getting
that,
off.
and no one took it.
Yeah.
I mean, if they raise the
There is
price
a law
to
that says they can't offer more than like $800. Well, they hit the max, and then they said, "Well, we can't offer you any more." So we'll
they didn't hit the mats. The mats is $1,350. They only went up to $800.
They went to 800. I thought 800 was the limit.
No, it's $1,300.
That was just the cheapest they could offer.
No, they offered they offered lower, and then they bumped up to 800.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a common airline practice because
Yeah.
statistics are a thing, and it's just statistically a certain amount of people don't show up, so they overbook like one or two less than that.
There's two real problems here. There's two real problems. Number one is you have unions where you don't need them. Let's not forget that unions are there when companies screw up. When companies have gotten to the point where they think, oh yeah, we can treat our employees like crap, what are they going to do? And then the employees say, well, we can make it so that your economics really, really hurt. But then unions go kablooey because once the problem's solved, they don't no longer need to exist, except they still do. So they're interested in keeping it
the thing is,
It's just United's a shit airline.
The concept of the union, it works. I've only really seen it work well in one model, and that's the German model, if you guys know it. It's where the union isn't for an industry. It's for one specific company, and one of the seats on the board is actually the voted for union rep who has to have at least 20 years in the company. So
Yeah, it's
basically
the same thing in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Unions are, if you actively have a union in your company, that's a sign of failure. That means that at one point in time, you screwed over your employees so badly that they looked at the situation and said, we are going to risk screwing ourselves over, even worse, for having a union because you're a shitty boss. That's a bad sign. What should happen is you as an employer should say, I will pay you I will pay you what you're worth and you will be paid, and you'll be worth what you're paid. But, whoa, what's going on there?
Wander saying you may want to mute your mic really quick. We're getting
What am I doing?
We're getting nasty feedback from you or something.
Oh, crap.
Except, that should be what happens. And when the employer screws up, the employee adjusts with the union. And then if the employee is smart, if the employees are smart, they say, okay, well, now that we're done, now you understand what's going to happen if you try this again, right? Okay, well, you treat us right i.e. the employees, and we'll treat you right. And then they deunionize. And then the next time the boss decides that they're going to, not be fair, be unjust, then they reunionize. That's a good practice. But that's in theory. In practice, it doesn't work out that way because the unions get a mind of their own and they become sentient. And,
Airlines are a bit when it comes to
See,
unions.
that's the thing, though, is that in the U.S., as is with a lot of other government, in fact, like akin to government programs, it's a temporary problem solver that becomes permanent. And that's where the problem lies.
Airlines are a bit weird when it comes
Hold
to
on.
unions
Unstoppable
because
has
of time.
Mitch, hold on. Unstoppable has something, Dad?
No. I said I was agreeing. I just was drinking Coke while I was doing that, so it came out weird.
Okay, I'm sorry. Renegade.
But basically, with airlines, the unions tend to be very necessary to exist for a long periods of time due to the fact that how chaotic some of the airline systems can be. Like, much for example, my dad, who was a pilot, at one point worked 3 days in a row because of the automated system, like 3 full days, like almost 72 hours of working with maybe 4 to 6 hours of sleep each night. Just back-to-back flying, which is quite intense, and generally it's a lot of allowing the pilots to be able to like try and mix up their pilots generally.
Oh, Jesus.
Pilots unions are very difficult.
This because of the automated flight.
Because it's very automated, and they're trying
Yeah,
trying to fight for the ability to be able to change certain things and how readily they can change them and other benefits they get, like
Is
certain
that-
allowances.
Is my mic okay now, or
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
okay?
But yeah,
So when it comes to airlines, like giving, like if they've bought a ticket, generally you want to give it to them either because it was a business and they kind of need to get where they're going, or because they're very high priority.
Show
but yeah, as I was saying earlier, if we have to have a union for that system, then let's use the German model, so that these unions are highly tailored and hyper focused on one company and not the entire industry, so that they can each deal with the issues that crop up that's unique to the company.
That's generally how it works with
Might be
airline
an
companies. United's
What's
just
this?
shit.
Was this in the contract that you agree to when you buy your ticket? If yes, they
Technically,
have a
yes.
right to do it. They shouldn't, though. That is another
Yeah.
issue. So, as far as I'm concerned, they business-wise didn't do anything wrong and didn't violate any of the principles I go by. But still, there is a moral responsibility to
Yeah.
not do this, given the understanding of the urgency of your product or your
Well-
product's demand. And as a result, what you'll see now. As we have seen a major decrease in usage of United Airlines.
Also, their stock is tanked.
Oh
They
yeah,
are a shit airline.
their stock
I
is
would
going
expect
way in the
nonetheless.
fucking dodo.
We
If
might
you
actually see United Airlines potentially crash from this.
Yeah, it might end up becoming a government airline, like what
or
happened
be
with
bought
Malaysia
out.
Airlines.
Or be bought out.
Please no.
Yeah. Or
I don't know.
be bought
Generally,
out.
the government buys out airlines when they like crash.
Well, if you
So it's
want to
like,
fix,
okay.
if you want to fix the airline market, the second big issue that you need to fix up besides the unions is to just make it one way or another. You want more competitors. You want more competitors. You want those competitors to have more even split on those airports. You want them to be competitive on every lane, and therefore, the cream of the crop will rise to the top. You will have choice as a consumer. But right now, it's the same thing with ISPs as it is with airlines. You want to get somewhere, you may have only one line in and out of your local town. Your airport, your local airport may be screwed. They may have to cut whatever deal the airline wants for them because they're the only customers that's keeping them around.
Yeah.
That's just no. And both with ISPs and with airlines, you need more customers. You need more.
With your you Americans and your oligarchy, like monopolies or whatever they are.
Yeah.
Just-
Well,
At least
okay.
Because it's not a problem in the rest of the world. Like Australia has 3 airlines that go to pretty much every airport.
But also, we're talking about a massive nation, so there's a lot more cogs in the machine. I mean, how many airports are in Australia? Major
Yeah.
airports.
Major airports, there's 6. Then there's like 100 and something minor airports.
Yeah, and those
Yeah,
minor.
we have way more.
Yeah.
Like,
We probably have at least 100 major airports in the United States.
and we have more airliners too.
Let's see. No, I wouldn't say 100, but I'd say easily at least 75-ish.
Yeah.
Guys, lip saying we're straying from the topic. We still have more to go.
Okay.
We just
Yeah. Next
Um,
article.
So we rung everything we can out of United Airlines.
Yep.
I suppose.
Yeah.
that's
No. One more. If you're thinking of going United, I'd recommend Delta instead. They're pretty good. I use them forever. They didn't screw me over. They never screwed me over. They kept me safe.
Okay. Next topic I'm throwing out there is the Richard Spencer event in Auburn. As distasteful as Richard Spencer can be, he is given the right to speak. No one deserves to have their platform removed. But the event was interesting because Antifa showed up. So this is Antifa up against the actual alt-right, which is funny unto itself.
Is this the guy that got punched?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the guy that got randomly
Yep.
punched.
Yeah.
I like how you
Puncher.
just know him as the guy who got punched.
That's what he's famous for. I didn't know he existed before he was punched.
I did.
Oh, I did.
I didn't.
Isn't it
I
funny
didn't.
that you letting him speak freely for like months and months and years, no one knew, and then the moment you decided to commit violence and hurt him, all of a sudden people just know. Isn't it
Yeah.
funny how how the left's way doesn't
This-
actually stop people.
This very
Lefty.
chat
Far
is a
left.
textbook example as to why they are absolutely fucking retarded when it comes to solving any of their issues. Because half the people here didn't know him till he was assaulted by Antifa.
Yep.
I mean, I may have heard his name in passing.
Okay,
No
I
one
saw
knew
that.
me.
okay, guys.
Let's actually talk about the
Let's talk
thing.
about the
Let's talk
issue.
about the thing, not spin on Richard Spencer.
So, the thing in question was, so he had a talk at Auburn University. After originally Auburn University was trying to get him, deplatform him, citing security concerns, but the instant they tried, he already ran off to the local U.S. District Court, and the judge ruled that discrimination on the basis of message content can't be tolerated under the First Amendment.
Oh, that is a
Did he
precedent.
really run off the same day? Like he would.
Same day.
I could just imagine, like you could just imagine, like a short cartoon skit of them like trying to censor him, and then like literally him walking across the street and coming back out 3 seconds later with a court order.
Yeah. Well, actually, this actually the scary thing about this is precedent setting.
Shoot,
yeah,
really?
This is going to be what's probably going to be called Richard Spencer versus Auburn, or Spencer versus Auburn's. And imagine when Gorsuch comes into this, Justice Bay Gorsuch. Yeah.
It hurts that as a future law student, I say that very understanding that might not be what happens.
Yeah.
It hurts that I meant to refer to that case at some point in my life.
Richard
Spencer
Spencer
versus
versus
Auburn.
And you're acting very highly on yourself if you think you're going to be on the Supreme Court.
Oh no, I'm not saying
No,
that.
this is,
I'm
don't
kidding.
know.
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
I'm going to be working on constitutional law, and as a result, even as a lawyer at like the smallest level, I might need to use it.
Sites.
But it hurts
But
me.
Milo
I am
has ammo
hurt.
now. Milo has ammo to basically force the arm of universities to pay for more security
We have
themselves.
a ruling of a U.S. District Court judge.
Yep.
You know what the funny thing is? It's funny how this would have never happened if the alt-left, whatever you want to call them, progressivists, wouldn't have done this. If they wouldn't have pushed this, if there wasn't this safety concern, there would never be this, quote-unquote Nazi, whatever you want to call them, whether you think one way or the other. I don't want to get into that debate.
Well, it gets better. The whole event gets better. Trust the alt-right.
Oh, God.
Trust the alt-right versus Antifa to give us the most kicks out of an event like this. So the police were actually doing their job this time
Hey.
at forcing Antifa to unmask.
What? Oh!
Unmask or get tased.
Well, actually, no. Unmask or go to prison.
Oh.
Get tased and then go to prison.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny that it really is telling that when laws that were meant for KKK members are suddenly applied to you, that's really a telltale sign of who you are.
So, yeah, I've seen video of this. So I will link the article in the chat.
Yeah.
Go over. There is video to view.
Just tase it. Tase
It reminds me
everywhere.
of this video where I was watching. It was a bunch of guys who were Nazis. It's like, dude, wait a sec. Look at our uniforms. There are skulls on them. Do you think maybe we're the bad guys?
But anyway, so yeah, as the police were unmasking Antifa, saying, "Look, you have to take your masks off, or you're going to prison." The Antifa look like they're about to jump the cops, which is obviously a very bad idea.
How to get shot.
Yeah, this is America. Our cops aren't pansies. You grab their gun. Your only option for survival is get on the ground and beg for your life.
All right. Well, we phrase that, except the cops at Berkeley, they don't do anything.
Hey guys, Jonathan and I are gonna swap out he wants to talk about this subject just for a little bit. So
Swap.
yep.
All right, so continuing on, during the afternoon classes were canceled, buildings were locked down, police all over the campus. 3 counter-protesters were arrested for disorderly conduct. And after the speech, a small group of Spencer supporters left the campus hall, fled on foot, as hundreds of students chased them off campus at a full sprint.
Damn.
Jesus fucking Christ. How did they not see that they're Nazis?
Oh, okay.
Both sides are Nazis.
Because they can't see the forest through the trees.
So, Spart, once you guys get a second, I watched that video. The officer's like, yo, you need to pick up your pipe. I was like, okay, demasking is one step. De-arming is another very important step.
Yeah, that was the other problem. They didn't disarm Antifas that were coming in.
Okay, if you're going to force someone to do something, but you're not going to force them to disarm first as a mob, that's very bad police work.
But better than
Are
Berkeley.
you telling me the police didn't do a good job in Berkeley? What? No, man, they're fine.
No, but here's the thing.
Fine.
No. Look. It's not about, like, public safety. It's about their own safety. Like, Jesus Christ. What is wrong with it? No self-preservation skills? Like, oh, my God.
Are you
Well,
saying
with how
Antifa
this
doesn't have
is-
a sense of self-preservation?
Well, with how this is escalating, I fully expect that in an open carry state, if Antifa shows up, there's going to be a militia that'll be keeping the
Oh, I
peace.
don't doubt it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Who's looking forward to martial law? It's
No,
a real
not-
question.
It's not going to be martial law. It's going to be a militia who is armed, who will
I'm waiting
basically
for-
be standing there with rifles, ready
I'm
for a
waiting-
fight.
Okay, to be blunt, I am looking forward to Antifa Texas.
Oh, gee.
Oh, that's gonna
Look,
be good. Open.
I don't want any of this to
Texas.
happen. I don't like the fact that people are beating the shit out of each other. We're all Americans at the end of the day. Like, half of us hate the other half. Or
The best
I
part about
honestly love how it's become Weimar Germany, though.
I
one
would
of the
kind of
best
argue
part
against
about Antifa Texas is if they open carry, they're going to be labeled a terrorist group.
oh, God.
Yeah,
And
but
because it's Texas, if the Texan freedom fighters open,
I don't
Russian
believe.
types open carry, they're gonna be called fucking patriots and
It's gonna
give
be
them
awesome.
free beer for the whole day. Think about that.
Austin,
Hey,
the
guys,
blueberry.
wait, on the note
So,
that
yes.
Texas.
Yo, I'll
Austin-
be there, man. You and me.
If Antifa shows up in Texas, it's going to be Austin, because Austin's the blueberry and the tomato soup that is Texas.
But at the same time, Austin, I don't think Austin can't restrict state law.
No, they
You
can't.
guys,
Yeah.
I got to argue on that, though. I don't consider Antifa to be Americans. I mean, once you cease supporting the Constitution of the United States and actively oppose it under a foreign banner,
Well,
that
No, it's.
I would
dude.
say this. If you don't like something about the Constitution, that's fine. Petition and rally to try to get it changed if you want. That's what this country's meant. The Constitution is a document that is meant to be edited as things go forward, as
With
things
the
shift.
consent of the governed, obviously.
With the consent of the people.
Yeah.
The government is
He said the governed.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing.
Oh.
Another
The
term for people.
explicit
I think the government
purpose
was like-
of the Constitution is to allow for dissenters to hate it if they want and be American still. It sucks, but that's the thing, guys. We have to stay principled on this issue.
Well, there's a difference between dissenting and wanting its principles struck down to be replaced with whatever they feel like have.
And demanding that it be done through exceptionally questionable legal means.
This
Oh,
always
I
boils
understand
back
that,
down
and it's
to-
wrong, and we should fight it. But still, the problem is that if we want to fight it and still have the moral high ground, that's honestly the thing. Is we need to make sure we keep that.
Well,
Yeah.
like I've been
Well,
saying for months now, how can we maintain how long do we have to maintain a moral high ground against these people? Because every time we maintain a moral high ground, they become emboldened. Oh, they're not going to do anything back. They're going to not going to do anything back.
That's not true. As long as you punch second, that's the thing. Look, if you look back at Martin Luther King's rallies, some of his stuff turned violent. But what happened was always that the racists and the absolutely inappropriate and bigoted and truly actually bigoted moral monsters punched first, and then these group of Americans who have this primal, primitive, fiery American passion of freedom, who have been deprived of it, punched after. Only then do you punch. Only once you've been punched first do you go forward.
It's already been talked about a lot, but look at the example of Goldilocks. We have evidence that she more than likely was the one to punch first. There's no video evidence of it, but based on a lot of circumstantial.
Yeah.
And
She
stuff like
she
that.
literally said she was out to punch people. She was out looking for.
And it's supported but not confirmed that she was toting around an improvised hand grenade.
She was toting around a bottle. If
Yeah.
that was meant as a weapon,
Well,
that
it was found that Antifa was putting M80s in bottles.
To sell mine, to
Yeah.
be fair.
they were putting it in bottles.
Yeah, they were turning them into improvised hand grenades.
Okay, M80s, not M1000s.
Just M80s.
Yeah.
It's Antifa.
Pussies.
They're not smart enough.
I kid, of course.
If you're going to be an anarchist that uses explosives, at least get the anarchist cookbook.
Look, I'm not an anarchist, but I know how to make an IED in my sleep. These guys are so. They're going to the local like Cracker Barrel and finding their explosives there.
Yeah. Well,
But on a serious note, I do want to bring, if I can interject something that came into this that I think is a very poignant political issue. I know we're going off script, but I think it'd be a good one to talk about. Do I have permission?
Depends on the topic. What do you got?
Just the loss lately on every side of, turning the other cheek and being the better person. Like, that has been completely lost in the political discussion as of late. Particularly in America, like, as of late, because I don't think it ever existed in Europe. I'm going to be honest. But, it's disappointing, really, to see people do this.
Well,
I think we need to have a rewording. I think we need to have a rewording, and we need to call it being correct. Not like correct as in on the right side of history, but I mean being correct as in being proper and appropriate behavior.
Yeah.
Going back to the rules of engagement, the rules of morally, the Christians, we came up with the rules of war, stuff of that nature. How do you handle things?
Principles have been lost as of late. Everyone just wants to get themselves as dirty as the other person. I gotta go to the old phrase.
Ice and
If
fire.
you're gonna lie with dogs, don't be surprised if you end up getting a few fleas.
Well, ice and fire. In a war, you can't hold on to everything. You hold on to as many core values as you can, and then after the war is won, you take a long march back. If wars could be won on principles, the West would have never lost a war. If wars were won on, I'm not saying giving up all your principles. I'm saying sometimes you have to toe the line and occasionally step across the line, but never stay on the other side of the line. Sometimes you have to do questionable things to defend your other principles. If you hold on to your principles but get destroyed by holding on to your principles, then those principles are lost forever. Isn't it better to say, okay, I'm going to have to give up on a couple of these tangential principles for a little while to make sure the core still remains, and then work on the long march back?
Thus far in American
I feel
history,
like they're tangential.
thus far in American history, America seems to agree with you. If you look back to World War II, World War One, real war, we had a sense of normalcy. And we lost that in between, the wars as they came in, media censorship, concentration, not the concentration camps, the camps that we had.
Not the concentration camps, they were the internment camps.
Let me just specify, I'm not saying I approve of any of
That's part of our history. We always look back on it with shame.
I'm not saying I approve of any of that. I'm not saying I condemn or condone it. I'm just saying that this seems to be what America agrees with you on the subject. That occasionally,
and we don't do it as a first resort. We always do it as a last resort or a perceived last resort. You only
that's one of the reasons why we have the biggest military, because we don't want to get to that point.
It's not a matter of minor issues. It's a matter of major issues. For instance, like you mentioned MLK. Well, here's the thing: a majority of MLK supporters, as opposed to say Malcolm X's, remained nonviolent, and they would denounce those who were violent.
Yes,
nowadays
the
we don't.
I don't want to say they were violent. Of the anti-fascists, the alt-right, whatever, are not violent.
I'm not saying
a majority of Antifa are violent. That's the thing, but a majority of us shouldn't be. But a lot of the fringe right is engaging in the conflict when they go to these events. You really look at it; it's a giant fucking brawl between both sides, and I do think there is a larger issue to be dealt with.
And how do you solve it? You demand the cops gun down the entire crowd? What do you do?
No, not China.
You would need a massive police presence to stop this stuff, and it's obvious the government doesn't want to do that.
Do what they're supposed to do, and you have them unite and just turn the other cheek. That's what a lot of MLK's people did. When they, if someone started getting yelled at or hit, you know what happened? The others came in and encircled to protect them. You circle the fucking wagons. That's how it's supposed to work, and that's why MLK is famous. A lot more famous than Malcolm X.
Respond appropriately.
Yeah.
Always, if the only option for you not dying that day is to beat the crap out of the other guy because he's punching you and you're gonna die if you do not punch back, okay, that is perfectly fine. That's self-defense.
Yeah. Well, of course, but if you look at the footage, there is no real first punch. It kind of just all happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course,
it's always weird.
Welcome to the world
people don't want to circle the wagons anymore. They don't follow.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah, we've been off topic for a while.
I think
next article.
Yeah, I think that's all we're getting out of Auburn. Due to request, next article that we'll be covering is apparently Australia might be trying to fix itself.
What? No.
Okay. So, do you want a quick explanation about what the the change to immigration policy is?
Go for it. This is your topic.
So, basically, they're making it so immigrants understand the importance of religious freedom and freedom of speech and all that, like Australian values, forcing immigrants to have take tests in order to join clubs, speak English, and all these other forms of cultural tests in order to be able to get their citizenship. If they fail this, they have to wait 3 times. They have to wait 2 years before they can try again to get their test. And also, they're allowed to deny people based on family situation.
Well,
if your family's tied to crime or history of abuse and stuff like that, they can just straight up deny you. Also, trying to make it so you have to have certain types of visas in order to work certain types of jobs, more like the manual labor jobs, in order to keep those jobs within Australia.
I see. So you're trying to prevent the H-1B visa problem that the U.S. has. At the same time, you're basically saying, hey, if you want to come here, you're going to be an Australian. You're not going to be a something Australian. You are an Australian.
Yes. To quote that Malcolm Turnbull, who is the elected PM, joining the Australian family is a privilege that is not easily afforded. But yeah, this is a privilege, and you have to work for it.
Yeah.
Well, immigration, from what I can tell, goes 2 ways. One, either you are coming here because we are being charitable, whatever country X be, or 2, us as a country need X number of people that just are not in our populace. X number of people who are mechanics that just aren't in our populace, and we want to import those kind of individuals from other countries. So it's either you are giving us benefit by coming here, so that's why we're taking you, or you are, or we are being charitable by bringing you here. So
if the USA did this, we would be deemed as racist.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Some people are calling them racist, but they're just they're not denying it.
People just don't care. People are just becoming less and less sensitized to that. The problem is, people just you call U.S. racist. The U.S. is more and more saying, well, not actually true, so we don't care.
I think the proper answer is yes. So it might be a better way to put it.
You're right.
Because the word has no meaning.
Yeah, no.
Australia is very much becoming no, we're not being racist. They can still come. They just got to accept being an Australian.
Yeah, they've got to...
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing I think the U.S. could use. But at the same time, I also think we need to get rid of the welfare state and then just give easier immigration.
We have a welfare state, but it's not as easily applicable to immigrants.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, that's another one. Is I'm willing to at least work in between and limit it for immigrant access for now. But honestly, the ideals are bring it back Ellis Island, get rid of the welfare state.
Ellis Island will need a complete retrofit because the way they were doing it before.
And
you know what I mean when I say
we already have an employment problem for low skilled workers. We need to have a system that is skill based. We also need to take take a sidetrack with the H-1B visa system. We need to make it 2 to 3, maybe even 4 times more expensive to bring in an H-1B visa worker than for a company to hire an American worker. H-1B visas are being abused as almost indentured servitude. It's horrible what they're doing.
I'm always very held back when people try to advise, hey, let's make something more expensive so people choose a different option. I always like to do it the other way around, where you're making it cheaper to hire here than it is to.
Well, okay, here's the reason why I want to make it more expensive. The first reason is...
It's going to become cheaper anyways, because what happens is they end up moving those jobs overseas anyways, and guess what? Those people probably would have been paid better if they'd come here and would have had the job anyways.
Yeah.
I just honestly...
Tariffs. Just have tariffs.
Oh, God, no.
Wait. Have what?
No.
Tariffs.
Oh, no.
Free market economics, my guy. That's not going to help. That'll both hurt every other country and especially your own country.
Yeah.
But the problem there is, I mean, look what happens when we ship jobs overseas. The horrible conditions people are put in. It's effectively slavery in those sweatshops, and we're slowly importing that for certain skilled workers with H-1B visas. There are stories of people having their passports taken away in the United States, denied access to communications, being paid half what an American worker equivalent would be paid. And they can't do anything because if they get uppity, the company has total control over where that visa gets renewed or not. We should require them.
That's what we call.
One of the requirements that I would like to see is they should have a lawyer for that person on retainer. The company is only paying the check. They have
That's what we call economic slavery.
All right, this is moved away from the topic at hand. We're not talking about American H-1Bs. We were talking about Australia.
About Australians change from immigration.
Yeah, we always do that. We're just going to keep doing that, aren't we?
Yes.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives us stuff to talk about, at least.
Yeah, we're talking about...
But the topic completely changed to American H-1Bs.
Yeah.
America! Yeah. Blippity bloop.
Yeah, it's a good thing for Australia, I reckon. They're trying to make the Labour Party, which is a left party, and the current elected party is Liberal, which is our right-wing party, which is more a quote-unquote right-wing party. It's more just libertarian party.
That sounds awesome.
I
want that.
Look,
guys,
the right everywhere in the world, all the right has to do in order to become dominant is to say, okay, well, what's the good stuff historically and presently that the left does that is good, that actually works?
All right, let's get to one of our topics. No offense, but let's get to one of our topics.
So Australia is fixing itself. No more of those women who say that, Islam is the most feminist religion, somehow getting through the immigration checks.
Linda Swasser.
Anyway, so next one. This one's probably going to be very, very brief, which is why I'm actually going to use it here, just for something more lighthearted. What the fuckery? MSNBC counterterrorism analyst calls for ISIS bombing of Trump property in Turkey.
Yeah. So he's the
That's what I do when something stupid happens. It's so unbelievable.
So the guy, his name is Malcolm Nance. If you know him or recognize his name, he appeared on Bill Maher show with Milo Yiannopoulos, and he basically just said the word "fuck you" to Milo.
Oh, well, which one? You got all of them to say that to him.
Just so people can see the tweet, I put it up on the screen now. This is my nominee for the first ISIS suicide bombing of Trump property.
Which screen? What?
It's for the peoples. The peeps that are watching this, all three of them.
All three of them?
Yes.
Are people actually watching this? Live?
Wait, people are... Yeah, people... I think we should just take our blessings. No. Someone cares, guys.
Yes. Someone cares.
Yeah,
and I wanted to care, too, so I showed them the tweet and read it out for them.
So, yeah.
Well, you read it for them? Wow. As if they can't read for themselves, you assholes.
So the tweet in question is that he's basically saying, go after Trump Tower, Istanbul.
You know what I think? It's just indicative of the internet. The internet makes you think that you're invulnerable, and you decide to say any old random crud that comes into your mind because you think there's going to be consequence-free. And it's just that the left's non-consequence-free thing is much more extreme than everyone else's these days.
Well, the thing is, his name's attached to it with a blue check mark. He has the verified check mark, so it's verified. So
it's the internet.
Unfortunately, he's also breaking U.S. law.
Yeah, what's also ironic is that he's a counter-terrorism analysis, and yet he's telling people to commit acts of terror. You fucking...
If we
Look, if you've seen some of those videos of like reporters saying, "Hey, look, this guy sent a death threat to me. I'm going to go track them down in real life because they make it easy for them," and then ask what was going through their head. Usually, the people who send this kind of crud just say, I don't know, and they respond like 5-year-olds that were just not thinking straight because they couldn't express themselves in a more intellectual way.
Or if it's a left-wing version of a death threat, they track somebody down and said, "How dare you threaten my life? I just told you to die of cancer."
But in this case, it's not more.
Yeah.
This is a one-off thing because he kept during the run-up to the election. He called Donald Trump the ISIS candidate,
Ableist, John on,
and he predicted that after the victory, Trump security and military advisors would lead to the end of U.S. Middle East relations as it exists today. That is technically true because anything ends as it exists today.
Yeah, with the new president, that kind of it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. But
apparently, he also stated that America's teetered on the edge of fascism under Trump.
Yeah,
Even though he's been shifting more power back to the states and more to the Congress.
It's been 100 days, and he hasn't like killed anybody. Are we?
He has killed terrorists.
He's killed like terrorists. Like, oh my god,
four terrorists with one bomb.
He's such a monster. He killed ISIS members. Like what? It's like.
Well, actually, people are trying to say that he is a monster for killing poor, unsuspecting killer.
No, fuck that. That being said, he did kill a bunch of Syrian kids. Because Assad killed a bunch of Syrian kids, supposedly.
Well, anyway.
I did not like that strike. That strike on the base was a shitty move.
Oh, yeah. Anyone with a brain knows that, just over 2 days of investigation means fuck all in actual time.
Yeah. It was a show of force.
We're not talking about that one. We're not talking about
Okay, yeah. Are we done? We said this was a great
There's a couple more things from Nance, and then we can move on. Nance also has an additional problem. He refuses to identify ISIS terrorism as Islamic. Specifically, he calls the Nice attack as a mentally unstable individual. The Orlando nightclub shooter was suffering from a psychosexual problem.
Oh my god. Repeat after me. Islamic State.
And the San Bernardino mass shootings was a hybrid act of terrorism and workplace violence.
Okay. What is the one thing that actually connects all of these? Islam. So does that mean Islam is a mental disorder now?
No. It's just a validation for committing.
Actually, if we cannot go through those statements, that means Islam is a mentally unstable, psychosexual, hybrid act of terrorism and workplace violence.
Oh, hey, that makes sense somehow. I mean, that works out in my book. Look. If they want to call it that, let's just do them a favor and let them make fools of themselves. Keep the guy talking.
Yeah.
Islam has never been worried about making fools of themselves. They've always had their eye on the prize, the big goal.
Islamization of the entire globe.
Well, it depends on which branch. I mean, I forget what the exact naming of it is, but ISIS technically their goal is to bring about the end of the world. They want to trigger a particular prophecy within the Quran that says that eventually the true warriors of Islam will take Rome, whichever one of the
unstoppable. You're slightly
when they drop down to about 100,000, basically Allah is supposed to come in and help them or some shit like that.
Yeah,
and then they're trying to trigger the Messiah coming, which brings in a utopia. Then the end of the world comes sometime after that. But either way, it requires a lot of infidels to be killed.
Yep, and I don't like too much death.
Well, the thing that scares the crap out of me about all of this is they are slowly pushing us into an us or them situation. And
yeah, worst case scenario is complete and total genocide of Islam, which I hate the idea. It gives me nightmares.
Yeah, there's tons of innocent people, but
I don't approve of it. I just see.
Unfortunately, I don't see a whole lot of other options.
I mean, we could always try to empower the reformers like Majid Nawaz,
the only way to empower them would be to send them with a large group of goons with guns and enforce their beliefs at the end of a gun.
What other options do we have besides a massive genocide?
One thing. We're diverging again.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
So, next topic.
We're gonna do that every time. I guarantee it.
Yeah. It's gonna be like
I'm
viral.
counting on
Well,
it.
since we like talking about immigrants and Islam, well, I assume they're Islamic. 14 wounded after illegal migrants stormed town hall to protest France's immigration laws.
Le Pen's still no man.
A crowd of around
Really?
200 illegal migrants from Africa stormed Alfredville Town Hall on Tuesday morning, demanding the government relax criteria for regularization and give them residence papers. So they were already in the country illegally, and they're demanding residence papers.
I'll give them this. They have balls.
Wait, did you just fucking assume that they were Islamic? That makes you a racist.
Did you just assume they were all males? You fucking sexist.
Except they were all males. The photos seem to prove it.
Yeah.
You don't know how they identify.
There might be a
You're
church
just-
there.
They're
I don't care how they identify.
identity.
But
You fucking cis shit.
actually, we can't. Well, for the moment, we can't really talk about Site 10's stuff because Site 10's channel's been destroyed by YouTube.
Well, he's on Minds.com right now, so.
But anyway,
I saw he uploaded a video, went to watch it, and his channel was taken down.
yeah, I know. I saw the video before.
Alright, let's get to topic.
Yeah, topic.
So, apparently, the migrants all have jobs in France.
Wait, what?
How the fuck do they not have a background check about who the employers are employing?
The
All 200 of them?
the migrants work at the Rungis International Market, the world's largest wholesale food market, and
That explains it.
and started piling into the town hall around 8:30 a.m. But staff didn't notice their arrival until it was too late.
What?
Oh my
You see a group of just black people just like charging
You guys
at
smell
you.
that? I think that smells like bullshit.
Okay, with the Runkis International Market, that sounds like a front company for something.
I would assume so.
This isn't Libya.
Come
That
on.
explains it.
Okay, Livia, yeah.
Daddy
This
05?
is not-
Nope.
This is not Libya.
Haven't heard of them.
But officers arrived to break up the protest, evacuate the town hall. They were forced to use tear gas as a group of around 40 illegal immigrants were blocking access to the building. Le Parisien reports that following clashes, 14 people received medical treatment with 3 hospitalized. This illegal occupation prevented Alfredvillians from accessing public services throughout the morning and caused anxiety among the town hall staff and families who are already present in the building.
Oh, yeah. Pierre.
Although the staff received the men and listened to their demands, the members of the collective did not wish to enter any dialogue, instead contenting themselves with denouncing government policy. Suggesting that the protest was linked to the far left, the mayor denounced the action as having been exploitation of human misery for political purposes. Corvonas, I believe is the name of the mayor, argued that it was unreasonable for far-left groups to target his town hall since in October 2015, Alfredville was one of the first communes in France to declare itself in favor of welcoming migrants.
I've got a feeling this mayor has taken a 180 on the stance and is probably very quickly going to say all migrants get out or get helicopter rides.
I think considering the fact that I believe Le Pen is going to win despite them begging the EU to stop her.
Yeah, Le Pen's not the best option, but it's the least cruddy from what I can
Marine
see.
Le Pen's?
Le Pen.
No, you misunderstand. Because just like Mike Pence, she's going to bring the
Oh,
country back to greatness.
puns are fun.
I hate myself too. It's okay. But
Icefire, go get yourself a belt and find yourself a nice doorway.
don't worry, I have a belt and I'm not afraid to hang myself.
Oh,
She's
come
not
on.
Ison. She's
Life over death.
going to shock the France back into greatness.
I mean, guys, all I need is a bed sheet. I could always just pull an Aaron Hernandez.
She's going to shock she's going to shock the migrant out of France.
What happens next will
Wait.
surprise you.
Wait, since they were all African, does that mean she's going to shock the monkey?
Oh, come on now. That's
Really, his job, you don't get a job.
Yeah. We got about. I'm gonna warn you guys. We're at about 10 minutes to an hour.
I got forever.
All right, so the next topic at hand is Ann Coulter. she's going to speak at the University of Berkeley, but she was banned by the university. Although she says she,
Sloppy seconds.
however, she says she's going to speak there anyway, and literally said, "What are they going to do? Arrest me?"
Uh-oh.
Probably.
Based and being a baller.
Well, they arrest her. Congratulations. She's just got she's a martyr.
She got
massive political
Yeah, they're going to use the legal precedent set by Sean Spicer to argue her case.
That is
No,
not
not
Sean Spicer. Richard
Spencer.
Spencer.
Richard Spencer. Sorry, I don't know why I confused them. Pardon.
That's right. Well, to be fair, they're both incompetent boobs. But here's the thing. Is you have to realize she's getting arrested for talking at a public university.
That goes against free speech, of course.
Well,
And
that
she-
would give
The base concepts.
that would give Trump a lot more ammo to basically say, you know what? I'm pulling your funding, Berkeley. We're also going to be decrediting your university. Bye. And
Yeah, I'm
basically
actually-
killing
No,
Berkeley.
you misunderstand.
I'm not going to
Not
Berkeley.
just Berkeley.
I'm going to the
This
same-
opens an avenue to basically pull funding from every public university.
That isn't 100% pro-free speech. We will shoot people if you're not
really
pro-free
hope
speech.
Oh no, it just opens the door at all. I mean, really think about it.
I hope that it's a per university screw up thing.
Yeah.
I hope it's not.
But anyway,
I mean, I'm saying that mostly because there's a lot of human beings that go to these universities that have nothing to do with this. They just want to go through their 4 years or 6 years or whatever and get out. I don't want them to get hit unless their university suddenly went
at the
decrepit.
same time, we don't want them indoctrinated either.
Yeah.
Just make a statement. If Trump were to make a statement saying, you go to a public university that restricts freedom of speech, you are at risk of having the funding pulled and your college is going to be a hell of a lot more expensive.
Well, I think it also should have a punitive measure attached to it of 5 years of no funding, and those 5 years have to be 100% pro-free speech, as well as the dean of the college will be fired, even if they were not involved with whatever topped the free speech, and they are barred from ever being involved in public education again.
You can't pick the reasonings arbitrarily, though. You got to have a
Yes, very
what's
clear.
the best-
Very
what's the
clear.
best term?
Obviously, yeah.
Well, if this happens at Berkeley, it'll have reason to happen at Berkeley.
Find the curve. Make a dynamic curve that depends on that's calculated based on how long the college can survive, as well as how long the college is going to survive, how much are you going to make the students suffer. Give the students time if you can to bail out.
Anyway,
Start a program that allows them
Yeah.
to bail out.
Anyways, continuing on with the article itself, Berkeley banned Ann Coulter, citing security threats. They were unable to find a safe, suitable venue on their university campus.
There is no safe.
So they banned her because they couldn't do that.
Trick question. There is no safe venue on their campus.
So let me get straight. They're denying a woman a safe space?
Denying a white.
No. You don't understand. She's conservative, so she's not actually a woman.
But yeah,
That's the logic.
They're oppressing her, though. They're oppressing
Oh,
her.
So the
God.
topic for the talk was going to be immigration. Berkeley, publicly funded university, first imposed a series of ridiculous requirements on the speech, allegedly in the name of safety. Coulter, we were informed, would be required to deliver a speech in the afternoon. Only students would be allowed to attend, and the speech location would not be announced until close to the event.
This is a social construct. That's being white.
So, against the advice of the Young America Foundation, Coulter agreed to all these requirements. In return, she requested 2 measures that actually had something to do with safety. 1, that the University of California Chancellor request that the Oakland Chief of Police refrain from telling his men to stand down and ignore law-breaking by rioters attempting to shut down conservative speakers as he's done in the past. And 2, that UC Berkeley announced in advance that any students engaging in violence, mayhem, or heckling to prevent an invited speaker from speaking would be expelled.
Ooh.
As Coulter explained, if Berkeley wants to have free speech, it can have it. The university's response was to ban her speech.
Honestly,
Wow.
you know what's a safe venue on Berkeley? Just get a crane with a glass box, but like a bulletproof glass box, and have
No.
speakerphones.
The Pope Mobile under
Yeah,
a crane.
Like that, like a Pope Mobile on a crane with speakers from it, and have your speaker in there. If you're conservative, just get into that crane, lift up the arm, and you're safe. No one can throw stuff at you. You're
Hold
in a
on,
glass
there's
box.
an image. That is awesome.
I mean,
Yeah.
the protesters might try to charge the train, and
In the immortal words of everything ever, what are they going to do to someone in the Pope Mobile box?
Well,
How
you
are
have to
they
hang it from a helicopter. I've got to find the image from Hellsing Ultimate.
From a helicopter? I think that's a little extreme.
Yeah, I think you're presuming a bit much from the people who can barely help to not be in porn while being assaulted on the street.
I think a crane with a box on the end of it will be good
Also,
enough.
I want you guys to realize, almost every like major Antifa person who we've looked at in the past several months has at some point done porn.
Is that really a trend?
Wait, the person who got punched at one?
No,
Model-
I'm sure it does porn. Wait, no. I may be miscorrect in remembering that, but I do remember he is a literal cuck, a literal shit-eating cuck, so I think he does do porn.
Well, the woman, the Moldylocks is a porn star / cam girl. I don't think she's quite high rating enough to be a porn star, personally.
You know, she
Just
was
goes to
actually
show, porn's bad for you as a person to do. Just
You know,
doesn't-
sorry, you go ahead.
No, I'm done. That was it.
You know, the Moldylocks was actually pretty attractive before Marxism, but then
Oh yeah.
ugh.
Marxism, not
let's
even
be fair.
once.
Here's a scientific link. It's correlation, not causation. Let's be fair here. The truth is damning enough.
Okay, so anyway, so this basically sums up Berkeley unto itself because they welcomed with open arms former Mexican President Vicente Fox, who mocked and ridiculed Trump and anybody who supported him, and the university and the UC chancellor Janet Napolitano.
Janet Napolitano.
Had apparently, according to a statement from, according to the Young Americans Foundation, they've revealed themselves to be using taxpayer money for an unconstitutional purpose. Even after Coulter went along with their ruses and guys to shut her down her speech, they simply announced, like Kim Jong-un, that it was canceled.
Ooh, who added the Kim Jong-un bit?
So they're saying it'll still go forward. The president of the foundation further declared in a quote that Berkeley disappoints anyone who really believes in free speech. Their actions to ban conservatives while giving leftists a platform reinforces this fact. It's a shame that Berkeley is robbing its students of the opportunity to receive a well-rounded education.
Why can't we just drop a Moab on Berkeley?
Well, apparently just last week.
Hey, someone's at game.
Wow.
So
Wow.
apparently just last week, an event with conservative commentator and former Breitbart contributor David Horowitz was canceled at Berkeley. So they're just pretty much banning everybody.
You get banned. You get banned. Everyone gets a ban.
That's what like my university. Mine, you know what they did last week? They brought on Chief Justice Roberts.
Awesome dude.
Oh, he's amazing. I love him.
All right, Seawall, how's our time?
I have no idea who this is.
We're about 2.5 minutes to the hour.
No. Keep the show going forever. I love this.
I actually literally can't. I do have to do things tomorrow, so we're gonna have to move on.
Next topic.
The great leader of the podcast has spoken. Don't make us execute you with starving dogs.
Actually, I'm going to interject a.
If Blippity wants to come on, he can.
I'm going
I must die, make it hand grown and quarter.
I'm going to introduce a topic that wasn't in the original lineup just because I just found this. It sounds interesting, and it's fairly relevant. We have commentary from Camille Paglia.
Who's that?
Rather well-known second-wave feminist.
Oh,
Second way.
second wave.
I believe she is in the same camp as Based Mom.
Second wave had.
All right. What does she have to say?
The article's headline, Camille Paglia, Trump already headed towards re-election. Democrats have overplayed their hand.
So
This is coming from a second wave.
Glorious
Aggressive
8 years.
dabbing. Dab.
This is coming from a second wave feminist. Wow.
Yeah, even the second waves were kind of crazy.
Well,
I mean,
not your Christina Hoff Summers and your yeah.
Oh, wait. I know who this is. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in the same camp as Christina Hoff Sommers.
Yeah, that means she's a very particular type of individual.
Yes. She basically is, I want all of the freedom, but all of the responsibility. She's actually, winning.
Oh, you mean a competent human being? What are those?
I know they are rare, but they exist from time to time.
All right, so here's some of the transcripts. This was a discussion between. This was a discussion. The moderator was a New York Times columnist, Frank Bruni, and the discussion was between Camille Paglia and Andy Cohen. So, get that out of the way. So, Frank Bruni opens up. They bring up Trump. So, let Camille take over. Camille said that she was a Bernie supporter and voted for Jill Stein.
What? Oh,
she's
wow.
losing points now. She's being less based.
So, the feeling is that an election occurred. It is incumbent upon the defeated party to pull itself together, or else we're going to get the re-election of the president administration. That's what I feel right now. Bruni asks if you feel he's going to be re-elected. Paglia says yes. The Democrats overplayed their hand, and I just can't imagine. Yeah. Bruni, you're already betting on his re-election less than 100 days in? Paglia replies, yes, because what the Democrats needed to do, and the major media, Frank, needed to do, was some soul-searching. Bruni responded with, by that you mean the failing New York Times? Yes. He literally says yes.
What I love this stuff, this whole election business as of late continuing.
I just don't pay attention to it much. I just
Never be so bold as to say this will happen. You never know. That's how I got somebody even when he was unlikely to win.
Well, I mean, Ann Coulter called it very early on.
Well, let's put it this way. The New York Times columnist is going to have to rebrand this segment called the New York Times Talks to the Failing Times Talks.
Yeah. But the thing is, the reason why it's easier to call, at the moment, call Trump winning, if he is just does mediocre as a president, like a president that no one remembers 30 years down the line, he is going to be reelected because he hasn't done anything bad. He's already got he's got his supporters, and with how the Democrats are acting right now, that's going to sting in 4 years. People are going to remember. They heard about their friend who got beaten up at a Trump rally. They're going to remember that woman who got egged. And any sort of violence that is brought back up against Trump supporters will be used as a stick to beat the Democratic Party until they are bloody.
Well, I never want to say for sure. You never know for sure.
Of course. I mean, Trump could do something. Trump could actually, go total retard at some point and get impeached.
It's beyond my prediction horizon. Yeah. It's beyond my prediction horizon. However, I do want to say two things. One, if he gets us into a war with North Korea, or if a war with North Korea happens, whatever. If a war happens, he's going to be a wartime president. Wartime presidents have an almost guaranteed chance of getting elected. Not always, but sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah.
Unless he screws up. If a Democratic Congress gets in office, he's either going to have to, right before they show up, fix his shit, because there's certain things he's doing now that are impeachable. Or...
Such as?
We need examples, man.
Such as divesting an interest. He has his kids running his business. That is, as far as the rules say, as far as the hardline rules say, not something that a president should be doing. His tax returns are still, it's not such a hard rule.
Okay, the tax return thing. Do you know how? Are you an accountant or a tax lawyer?
I am not.
Okay,
I am not.
My dad is a tax accountant. When you are under audit, you never release your tax returns. It is one of the stupidest things you can do, because if anything changes, perjury charge is immediately brought on you.
I understand.
It's legal to do it, but it's like saying, "Oh, I'm on trial for a child rape." It's one of the stupidest things you can do.
I understand. I'm not
And
saying he
once
should. I'm just saying
once
that
the audit is done, he should release
it's an
it.
A needs B and B needs A
Yeah.
scenario. He needs to make sure. I'm not saying he just should do it now. I'm just saying these are examples of things he has to fix if a Democratic candidate gets into office, if a Democratic Congress gets into office.
Which
I'm not
is
saying
unlikely.
that. I know.
Which is very unlikely.
I'm thinking, yeah, it's unlikely.
Yeah.
They would have to do it They would take be 4 years because I think the next group up is pretty much all Democrats.
Yeah.
So if they would have to win that and then the next run in order to get.
We're over time, so let's finish
Yeah,
your thought, then
that's
close
it.
out.
Yeah, next one.
No, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Finish your thought, Unstoppable, then we're going to punch out.
Oh, the world's a show, and this was a fun time indeed. That's about it.
Okay.
Australia's doing something right.
For once.
No, it's just then. Normally they don't do anything wrong. It's just now they're doing something right.
On the collective note of colleges, food for thought. New York State is finally doing free college at their state level. Let that sink in.
Just go to a different country. Just go to a different country.
No, it's easier. We just go to a different state.
All right, we're wrapping up.
Yes.
Yeah, let's wrap up.
So,
Yeah.
those three people who actually watch our podcast, thank you for putting up with our shenanigans for yet another hour. I've been the host tonight, Spartacus, and I once again thank our guests and panelists for commenting and kecking and wringing every bit of substance they can out of these topics. So,
Fuck you.
I ask,
Oh, that's uncalled for.
No, it's perfectly called for. I'm an asshole. Everyone should know that.
so speaking of which, I leave everybody to give their final thoughts. Ice and fire.
I already gave mine food for thought about the whole New York State legalizing college freedom for free college, as I call it.
They done screwed themselves over. It's what I wanted in the first place.
That's what I wanted, yes.
Blop, you unmuted. You have something to add?
They're killing us on Pepsi.
Seawall, you're up.
Hail Führer Trump. Let the Pepe death squads begin. I don't know.
Okay, Wonderzing.
Hey, drop a Moab on Antifa, please. Presidential.
Fair enough. Collective? A commoner, I'm sorry. Which one are you? It's two C's.
Collectively.
Collective.
Collectively, you can speak.
You're not muted. Never mind.
He's
Okay, Unstoppable. What do you got?
Oh, what a wonderful show.
Fuck off with your singing.
My singing's amazing. Shut up.
Good cancer.
Okay.
It sucks, doesn't it?
All right, folks, thank you once again for joining us for the Deplorable.
Thanks for ignoring me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want your final thoughts? You're muted.
The Kakistani people are oppressed. It is racist.
Yes,
Free
they
the
are.
cacks.
I think collectively wants the last word. Oh, no. He just left.
Yeah, gentlemen, let's close this out. This is getting ridiculous.
Okay, so
Do you hear
So-
the
so we march forever onward to a free Kekistan. My fellow Kekistanis, Shadowlay and Re-out!